Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special Roleplay Masks one-shot. And yes, it is still a one-shot. That's the great thing about making a game that's sort of based on comic books, is that every arc is one thing. So if you missed the last one, yeah, you're going to miss the character introductions, but don't worry. We're going to reintroduce everybody. But before we get to the characters, let's say hello to our mighty heroines. It's been a long time for some of y'all. I haven't seen many of you in an age. I was thinking about this, Anne. The last time that we played this, I feel like you were incinerating in your costume, and maybe not so much a problem now. Is it still like insanely hot everywhere? Are you feeling a little less?
No, it's actually the weather has cooled off. Yeah, last time I was like wearing a leather jacket and it was like super. I don't have central air, so it was like really uncomfortable. Now I actually like need it.
Yeah, for folks watching at home, the last time that we played, every time there was a break, and was like, "Fuck this," and got up and just like walked out of the room,
like tearing my jacket off. Like, oh god, I'm dying. It's good.
Well, good. Yeah. I'm glad things are a little more temperate for you. You've been playing on another role play show of late.
Yeah.
I've been having a pretty good time. I've watched bits and pieces. How's Blades going?
It's awesome. I mean, makeup is kind of similar, just without the face paint so much. But it's a lot of fun. It's very much based around like character interaction and stuff, more so than like the fights, I think. I don't know. So I like developing the characters with, Zeke, Wee, and Jeff. And I don't know, that's probably been one of I think these two have been like my favorite role-playing experiences so far. I can't wait for that show to come back. Everyone's been like on holiday and stuff. So
yeah, Blades is a fantastic game. I'm glad you're having a good time. That's cool. Hemlock, aka Aaron, aka Aureylian. How you doing?
Great. How are you?
The last time I saw you, you were dressed up like a Jawa. So
oh yeah, that was the last time. I was shuffling around the set trying to fix all of the broken things.
Yeah, so you get to be a character this time.
I'm actually in a speaking role. I'm upgrading. Yeah.
What have you been up to besides scavenging spaceships on Tatooine?
Streaming a lot. The last time we were here, I was streaming like maybe once a month, and now I'm streaming almost every day. So streaming a lot, playing a lot of video games. Yeah.
I saw a clip of you losing your temper at Final Fantasy 14.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I got really upset because I didn't want to die, and it took us out. I was in the middle of a battle, and it like instanced me to this thing that we were doing, and as soon as they brought me back in, it like spawned me in the middle of all these aggro, and I couldn't fight them off, and I was just like screaming at JP. I was like, why the fuck am I dying? I was like running. He's like, we're gonna come help you, and I was like, you can't fucking help me. And I probably think that's the angriest I've ever been on the internet.
I feel like I have an impression of you as a fairly like gentle person. It was a little startling. It was awesome.
You have the wrong impression.
Apparently.
Okay, but listen, the thing is like there's no real problem when you die in the game. Like there is no problem, but the fact that I had never died up until that point, and I felt like it wasn't even my fault. Like if I die, I want it to be because I like went out heroically and I was like taking on this boss is like way too big and like I almost had him. No, I just instanced and like it was like almost instant death, and I was so angry.
It's always a bit of a jarring situation when you die for the first time.
I forgot I got that mad. That's pretty funny.
I don't know that I'll ever be able to forget that moment. I needed to like step away from it.
Yeah, everyone, don't make me angry.
This reminds me of like the turning point for Dodger. Ever since she got really mad at Jotun, like I've never looked at her the same way.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to be a little scary. I think people should fear you a little bit. You get shit done.
I wasn't scary before. Damn it.
No, but now maybe a little.
But look I'm so intimidating.
Generally speaking, if you have to remind people how intimidating you are, it's not so much.
Yeah. No, all right.
No, that's okay though.
Okay.
That's all right. Shannon, what you been up to?
Hey,
I think we've interacted the least since because you live like a million miles away, and I never have like an opportunity to hang out with you. What's going on?
And you guys are so sweet. This is the first time that we're doing a show at like my dinner time. So I really appreciate it because That was totally unnecessary. I told you, I'm used to staying up until 3 or 4 in the morning for role play when I am on. So it's actually really nice that everybody's up early. And I know that's even harder considering it's a long weekend and everyone had their Thanksgiving meal, which was very enraging for me because I'm on keto. So thanks for that. Thanks for all your Twitter feeds.
I feel like
we were
the
scheduling
reason-
it, and I was just like, we have to do it at early o'clock because then it won't be a stupid time for Shannon. I was like thinking about it. I was like, if we do it in the afternoon, it's gonna be like 2 a.m. her time, and the show is 4 hours, so like you don't want it to like even if it starts at midnight, it goes till 4 a.m. You know, so like you wouldn't want to do. So it was like.
That's what I'm used to.
I think it's very helpful that the JP is able to produce the show and not appear on camera, so he can still be in his pajamas and
or naked. Yeah.
It's like 1 p.m. This isn't like the biggest sacrifice. Like 1 p.m. I mean, I'm in my pajamas to be fair, but
I mean, I got up at 8:30, so it's much earlier for me than it is for you. It's 11 right now. Yeah, no, I'm totally happy to do it.
But I have big news. I'm getting puppies.
Oh yeah, I saw the pictures.
they're so little.
Like
How do they exist?
puppies.
2 of them.
We picked them up in a couple of weeks, so right before like all of the Christmas holiday time off starts, so that I can like focus on training them during that time. So we picked them up in a couple of weeks, and I've never had puppies before. Got lots of pets, love pets. Everyone on Twitch has got pets. I'm sure you've seen everybody's cats and dogs walking around in the background, but yeah, I have never done puppies, so I'm very nervous and I'm very excited, and I just don't know what to do. They're like this big.
How many puppies are you getting, and what are you
2.
naming?
Okay, so I'm getting 2 King Charles Cavalier Spaniels, which actually grow to be like, a small, medium-sized dog. They're not like super tiny, but they're very tiny at first. And I'm getting a little redheaded girl, obviously, and I'm naming her Duchess. I'm a snob. I'm sorry. I have to. And then I let Chris name the other little puppy because actually we were only going to get one, and we fell in love with them when we saw them, and they seemed so close that we thought like it would be just criminal to split them apart. So we said we'll take both of them.
So your other dog's name is going to be XX Bong Hits 420 No Scope XX.
Lil Jeff.
What is that?
Not even little with the enunciation
Right,
being
of course.
proper. We're talking LIL. Lil
Nice.
Jeff is what he's
Nice.
naming him.
Yeah, Lil Jeff.
I
Right.
can't wait till Chris has kids.
Named after E.G.
Not naming them Lil anything, okay?
Chris
Not
is gonna
Lil
name
Wayne,
his
Lil
kids
Jeff.
like Batman.
He would. No, it's not okay.
That's great. I
Lil
love
Jeff.
that. It's a good
Well,
name.
here's to you, Duchess and Lil Jeff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god, it's raining. It never rains. Freaking out. Okay.
So, puppies. That's great. I'm impressed for you. I had a dog as a kid, as I think many people do, and you're in for it. It's gonna be a time. Good luck. Good luck, Shannon.
You say that with like a touch of pity in your voice.
It is, yes.
One time it was like baby twins. They just go like this.
I look forward to the tweets where you're like, at first, yay, puppies. And then a month later, what am I doing with my life? Leaving out.
Puppies are hard, but it's really worth it. Because my mom has a German Shepherd and I have a German Shepherd. And I got mine as a rescue. She's already like 2 years old. And my mom got her when she was like tiny, like this little bundle. And her dog is so much more like well acclimated to the world because she had her from when she was like a puppy. So she like raised her in this like loving home. And my dog has kind of like attitude problems. She's basically like if Riley Rampage were a dog.
I was gonna say they say that after enough time, a pet and their owner become similar. So
Yeah. Well, she had a hard life growing up, so she's got issues.
And
but
let's be real. I think if you got goldfish, they'd have an attitude problem.
that's true, probably. Yeah. I did have a snake when I was growing up. I had a pet snake. That's the kind of kid I was.
I was gonna say that doesn't surprise me
No.
at all.
I always wanted a snake,
But-
but I had guinea pigs, so I was afraid the snake would escape and eat them.
Caitlin, we all know your history with snakes. So that doesn't make that doesn't.
Oh yeah, now I get it. Yeah, I like that kind of snake.
Yeah, you can have that as an adult. Well, yeah, what have you been up to, Caitlin? I saw I can't tell what game you're playing anymore because it just seems like you're always playing The Witcher, but I think you were playing Stardew Valley yesterday.
Yeah, I was jokingly playing. Yeah, I mean, I can't tell anymore either. I was thinking that. I was like, Adam's going to ask me what I've been playing, and I don't even know what I've been playing. I don't know. Everything's a blur too because I stream every day, but I also study every day. So it's just one big blur, you know? Topless Witchers, topless Stardew? I don't think so. Maybe.
Yeah, very, very different.
I didn't get that update.
No.
Me either.
It's a fan mod. It's in the dark part of the internet.
Oh God, I bet
Guaranteed it exists. For everyone who's Googling it right now, I'm sure
yeah.
it's real. Yeah. Yeah. Had you played Stardew before, Kaitlyn, or is this a new?
No. When did it come out?
Like a year ago?
Yeah, a year.
Oh.
I think so, yeah.
I needed something to stream in an airport while I was waiting for my flight because my flight got delayed like 6 hours or something. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll just stream. But I didn't have anything to stream, so I started playing it. It's pretty addicting. I never got to play Harvest Moon as a kid. So this was like me finally doing that. Although
Yeah,
I know
I'm the same way.
a lot of people say they enjoy Stardew Valley more than Harvest Moon. So, I mean, maybe.
Take
I've
that,
never
Harvest
played
Moon.
Harvest Moon,
Yeah, I
so.
never played Harvest Moon as a kid either. I don't know how that. Like, I just missed it.
Yeah, I think I just wanted a dog. That's
Yeah,
why.
fair. That's fair. Did you?
And mine was farming.
Did you name your farm animals after anybody cool?
No, I don't have any farm animals
Jeff.
yet. No, you need this is what my chat told me. You need Lil Jeff. You need $20,000 to start a farmhouse or something. Or you need a stupid amount of wood and money for
That's
Robin.
why I tried to cheat it all in. I found out how you could cheat golden, and I was like, I don't have time for this. Well, no, not in this. In Stardew Valley, you can actually go in and edit the exe file and change
Oh my
Whoa.
God, she's a hacker.
Cyber
Yeah.
hacking.
So
Lex, she's taking your job.
I know. So I went in and
Next, she's using Game Shark.
yeah, but then the problem is that you can't just get gold because I was like, I'll just give myself a bunch of gold. I gave myself 4 million gold or something stupid. And so I was going to go in and buy it all. And then they were like, oh, but you need all these materials. And I was like, I don't have time for that. So I quit and never played again.
Just add in a bunch of zeros.
Yeah.
God, I want to do that. But can you, I guess you can't stream cheating on Twitch or whatever. Does that even count?
New game category, hacks.
Yeah, just hacks. I'll just do it off screen and then just say I played it a lot.
Yeah,
Off
just
mine.
a lot of cranberries. It's fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
That's definitely a game with a long lifespan, though. It's been around, and I feel like it still holds interest. I actually have never played it, and I really want to, but I know my productivity will go down the drain once I do. So
You just got to reevaluate your idea of productivity, right? You'll be very productive on your imaginary farm that doesn't
Right.
exist and doesn't give you any real money. But hey, at least Harvey will love you. So you got that going for you.
I had to quit Minecraft. I haven't touched Minecraft once in 3 years because it killed my productivity so badly. So I've never
But
gone
now
back.
they have llamas.
Oh no, Aaron, why?
And they have
Why?
rainbow llamas.
No, stop. Why are you doing this?
So how about that crack, huh? Yeah.
That rainbow crack.
I feel
Just
like
play
that.
for an hour, Caitlin.
I feel like that every time
Wow.
anyone talks about Magic the Gathering, they're like, "Hey, Adam, you used to play Magic," and I'm like, "Get away! Don't even."
Yeah. That's people in WoW too. Hey, we started
You
Guild
used to have a
again.
drinking problem. Check out this beer. I'm like, no, get the fuck away from me. With
I have
your
this
Magic
problem with
cards.
Christmas
That's why I won't go
shopping
back
now.
Yeah.
Oh God, Christmas shopping.
Yeah, because and I got all of Boo's Christmas presents purchased like 3 weeks ago, and I have them all wrapped. I wrapped them all yesterday on stream, and JP called it. He was like, "I guarantee you buy her more stuff before Christmas. You're not gonna go 4 weeks without buying anything." And I was like, "No, I won't." And then yesterday she was at the table and she was like, "Mom, look at this really cool Pokemon thing," and I was like, "She needs that." I texted JP and he was like, "I told you were gonna buy it," and I was like, I leaned over my dad and I was like, "Have you bought her a Christmas present yet?" And he was like, "No," and I was like, "I just got it for you."
See, this is the thing. I feel like when I was a kid, that was the opposite of how parents worked. You'd be like, "Hey, Mom, check out this video game thing I want," and she's just like, "Get the fuck out of here with that video game shit." And a shovel for Christmas. I wish I had a cool.
that is so Canadian. That was the most Canadian thing you could possibly have said.
It was the first really mundane item that popped into my head. I don't think I ever got a shovel for Christmas. I didn't live in the Soviet Union.
Or
Yeah,
Ontario.
that doesn't surprise me, Aaron, that you're a big holiday person. Though
Is your tree up? Is your tree
Yeah, I was
up?
just gonna
No,
ask that.
because I'm having a fireplace installed before Christmas.
Oh my
right, that's
God.
happening. Right. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna look at her face. Like she's actually gonna burst. There's gonna be like blood coming out of her nose really soon.
I'm so happy. We're gonna have a mantle with candles. I bought 2 little fake reindeer for the top. I'm so excited.
Oh. Do you have fake snow? You gotta get the fake snow.
No, I live in Missouri. We have real snow.
So you're gonna take real snow and put on
you
your
mean
mantle,
inside?
Aaron?
Oh no,
Yeah.
no. We're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Wait, you thought I was
Messy.
saying to like cover your grass with fake snow? I mean, that'd be
Oh,
pretty
no.
cool.
It's like a very Martha Stewart looking setup.
I did that at my school
Oh.
when I was in college. They, for some like party or whatever, for some celebration in the spring, they trucked in like, I don't know how much snow from up north, because I went to school in Southern California and we didn't have snow.
that's
So
a
they
long way
actually
to truck in snow.
Yeah, they actually brought in like truckloads of snow and dumped it in like the middle of this like open quad area, and so people could like play in the snow.
How long did it last? And was that the first time you
For a
ever saw
while.
snow?
No, I mean I grew up in the Midwest, so
Oh.
yeah, but yeah, they actually for a lot of people it was though, so they would like go out and like play in the snow. It was cute.
So cool.
Yeah.
I really want someone to like film Californians first reacting to snow. You know, like the first time they ever see it. But I don't know how you get them to the snow.
Well, I mean we have snow, like
Yeah,
we've got
there's
Big
mountains
Bear
and
and, you know, like
skiing.
all that
Yeah.
stuff. So, like we go to like where there is snow. We just don't live where the snow is because we're not idiots. So
Californians can never. If it gets colder than 50 degrees, they're like, you can't leave.
I was waiting for someone to
No.
react to that, and it took like a second.
I know. I was. Well, I didn't want to believe it at first because I was like, look, it's true. That's why. I tried to like shield it away, but it's true. I don't want to live here anymore. There's like, it was snowing. It's probably snowing right now. Okay, well, I don't.
You know where it doesn't snow, Kaitlyn? Vancouver.
Vancouver? Seriously?
The good part of Canada. Yeah.
Huh.
It never snows here.
Unless you're talking about 1996. I think it was like the last time it ever snowed.
Yeah,
Are you
I don't remember.
Almanac? What the shit is that?
Yeah.
Back in 1996, 4 inches
I'm
of
not
snow
that
fell in Vancouver, Canada. Like what?
I am not that old. This is not like the Victorian era, but yeah, it was a blizzard and there was 3 feet of snow. It was a big deal. Yeah.
Shannon's
Except-
taking over the wheat. Back in my day, roll.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's in character, you know. She is. Like
I am the oldest. So.
Yeah,
That's
the like
true.
leading figure.
See, we
I'm
had
such a goody two
three,
shoes.
we had 3 feet of snow. Of course, we called it a meter, but you know,
A
it's-
meter?
it's
It was a
different.
that?
Oh, yeah, right.
That's how we measure things in
That's
either
right.
Canada or science fiction. So you want to play a role-playing game? Is that a thing
Yeah.
we can do?
Yeah, I think I have time.
I'm good.
Yeah, right. Nobody has to go.
I'm
Okay.
Got some time carved out.
All right.
I mean, I just so happen to have this like gold armor on, so I guess we can.
You know, just Jessica all the time in England.
No, I totally wear this all the time. This is what
I
I
woke
wear.
up like this.
Yeah, totally. Fine. I believe it. I believe it. All right, cool. Well, before we get started, I have a very special message from our roleplay corporate overlords.
Oh yeah.
I gotta share a story though first. So I'm a bad fan. I'm a bad fan of like my own shit. So I don't actually own a Swan Song or a Mirror Shades t-shirt. I don't know how I let that happen. I know.
I own 2 Swan Song t-shirts and 1 Swan Song hoodie. Just
See,
saying.
like, it just like totally somehow like I was really busy, you know, making those games when the t-shirt thing happened. So I never actually managed to get a hold of the NERPs that I needed. So if you also missed such a thing, there's a very short-lived, very special sale going on. If you go to teespring.com/stores/rpblack, you can make up for your error like I'm about to and buy t-shirts you may have missed from role plays of the past.
Or buy like 3 of the same one, like me.
Yeah, or you can just fucking load up on a full supply of Swan Song t-shirts.
I think my
Like
favorite
Doug
one I
just
have
made
is
us
the
one.
West Marches one, the old school.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And so so you can go and check that out. That's available for now. They're all 20% off too. So if you live in a strange part of the world like the UK, that should take some of the sting out of the shipping for you.
Whoa, England's not part of the UK anymore, Adam.
They're right now, right?
Yes, they are.
I love you, Kaitlyn. Somebody get me the that's the joke.jpg so I can just throw it around right now.
Okay.
Okay, let's move
yeah.
on. I'm dying of embarrassment.
First the EU, then the UK, then the world, then your floating island out in space. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the game first, because it has been a while. It's no longer the sweltering depths of summer like it was when we were playing before. So we might be a little unfamiliar with how Masks operates. So Masks is a game about teenage superheroes struggling to make their mark on a world in which they may be seen as outsiders or lessers than the existing batch of superheroes. It takes place in a city called Halcyon City, and Halcyon City is like a pretty common place for superheroes to show up. It has a high concentration of superpowered individuals. So these characters aren't like the only superheroes anyone's ever seen, or aren't even the only superheroes currently active in Halcyon. And so they're judged not only for their own actions, but against the existing kind of superhero culture that exists in that world. So y'all are the kind of new generation of superheroes. You're teenagers. You're trying to figure out your identity and your place in the world. But also there's cool powers, and there were Tyrannosauruses the last time we played. So who knows? Who knows what's going to show up this time?
And lizard men.
That's right, lizard men from the depths below the museum. So this game uses a similar system to Dungeon World or Sagas of the Icelanders for resolving stuff. Every roll is 2d6, and then you're going to be adding or subtracting one of your stats, which in this game are called labels. And in Masks, they're pretty different than what you might expect from a normal role-playing game, in that they're not objective assessments of a character's capabilities, right? Like in Dungeons and Dragons, you might have a 14 dexterity, and you know that means that's how agile or quick your character is in comparison to all the other characters in the world. But in Masks, you have labels, which is the way your character sees themselves, the way that they see the world, putting these labels on them and how they kind of express their identity. So each character has 6 labels, and they are freak, danger, savior, superior, mundane, and then you'll have a generic label that you'll use when you have conditions. Conditions are the situation that your character is in the moment. It usually represents like an emotional state, like afraid or angry, guilty, insecure, or hopeless. And those are bad to have. Conditions are a constraint on your character because you are out of control. You have some aspect of your situation that you're not able to control. And so conditions will affect those. And your labels will go up and down depending on your character's view of yourself by other people's influence over you. So influence is a big part of the way that the game works. You're going to give each other some influence over one another. And then characters outside of you will have influence over you. And by default, because you're teenagers and because adults' opinions matter more than yours, they all have influence over you. Every adult in the world gets to tell you who you are. And that's sort of part of the struggle of the game, right? So if a grown-up is telling you, you're irresponsible and your use of powers is just going to get people in trouble and you should quit being a superhero, it's on you to decide whether you take that to heart and change your labels, perhaps becoming more dangerous and less mundane, or you can exert an effort to reject their influence. And as the game progresses, we'll see the characters sort of struggle with these labels. Now, you can also use your influence to help each other. So if someone is about to get into a situation where they need to be, the leader, they need to be superior, you can use your influence over them to reinforce that, to say, obviously this person is the leader of the team, and I'm gonna help them. But in doing so, you have to reduce some other label, right? You have to say, yeah, you're superior, you're the boss, you lead us into this battle because you're the one who's in the most control. You're not actually that dangerous. Leave that to us, and that's going to reduce their danger. So the characters will kind of go up and down as we move through the game. Everybody in Masks, all the characters can use the basic moves. These are the things that every character is able to do, no matter what playbook they're playing. So these are things like unleashing your superpowers, whether that means flying around, firing energy blasts, or creating gadgets on the fly, or just lifting heavy things and breaking stuff in half. All of that will fall under unleashing your powers. You'll be able to engage with threats. So this is the kind of, knockdown brawling a superhero will do. But you can also do things like assessing the situation. Right? This is where you're taking a minute to figure out kind of what's going on in the moment, and this can be in the middle of a big superhero battle, or it can be in a tense moment between fights where you're trying to figure out kind of what's going on. You're able to comfort and support your teammates or the NPCs. You're able to see through someone's mask. So all the characters wear masks, both literal and metaphorical. Sometimes it might be you're trying to figure out what someone is actually feeling when really they're very deep in their superhero or supervillain persona, right? You're trying to see through to the person beyond. Other times they're just trying to hide something from you or keep their real feelings aside. And it's not about being a superhero or a villain. It's just about being a person who maybe is guarded and doesn't want to let other people in. So there's a move for that. You can provoke people or defend them using your basic moves. And then the move you don't want to have to make is take a powerful blow. So this is when a building falls on you or a supervillain hits you with a truck. You need to roll this to see if you're able to hang on and tough it out. Now there are a set of adult moves that will become available to these characters as they grow up, but as we see them at the beginning of the game, y'all are still junior superheroes, so we won't have access to those adult moves. Now each of the characters is guided by their playbook. It's basically a type of hero, type of character that they are. And so each of you, before our previous game, you chose one of these to start off your character, and this is going to give you all kinds of additional stuff. So additional moves. It's going to help you figure out your powers. And in the last session, we answered some questions about who had influence over whom. But because this is a new arc, because we're sort of starting a new graphic novel, we'll redo, I think, those influence questions, but we'll keep everything else the same. So on your character sheet, if you have any conditions, you can go ahead and remove them. Time enough has passed that you're no longer angry or insecure or whatever. So you can mark those off, and don't worry, you'll get more. And then we'll go through and we'll talk about where everybody's labels are at and what moves you have.
Do I leave my potential because I've got 2 checked off?
Yes, definitely. So potential is like your experience in this, and your XP comes from failing rolls. These characters learn by doing and by messing up. So when things get complicated, you gain insight. Once that gets filled out, then you're able to take an advance, which usually means a new move or an expansion on how your character works. Also, if you have any influence currently on your sheet, you can go ahead and mark that off. We'll reset those.
Who's closest to the next level? Like, what's everyone's potential? Mine's at 1.
2.
1 as well. 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not a lot of failed rolls last time. Y'all were
we're too good.
Kicking ass. Yeah. I mean that's good, right? Because when you fail a roll, then it turns over to me to be like, cool, let's see the terrible results of this thing you tried to do and failed. So success is good. The potential marking is kind of a balm for when bad stuff happens to you. So let's get reintroduced to the characters. Let's start with Riley. I think let's start with our bull.
Cool.
So yeah, why don't you tell us the options you took for your look? Tell us a little bit about Riley's powers and what your labels are currently at.
All right. I was trying to find the page for. Oh, hey, no, I just found it. Okay, 95 for the bull. I guess for my playbooks, I couldn't find it before. So my character is about like fighting and kind of brash behavior, I suppose. The description is you're big, strong, and tough. You know what fighting really is, and you're good at it. You've got a soft side too, but you only show that to the people you care most about. Everyone else, they can eat your fist. So my active moves are punch everyone, which I thought I mostly picked because it was hilarious sounding, which means that whenever I charge into a fight without hedging my bets, I can shift my danger up and any other label down. And my second move is there when it matters, which is when I defend someone on a hit, can hold one instead of choosing one from the list. Spend your hold when they're in danger later to arrive on the scene ready to help. So I can swoop in after the fact and save someone.
Yeah, and this is where you're actively defending someone to show us you care about them, and then you're banking some of that success rather than using it right away, so that later, when they're in danger, you can Kool-Aid Man through the wall and be like, "What up? I'm here to save you."
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. What did you choose for do you remember what you chose for your look options for Riley? If you don't remember, you can just repick them too, because maybe
My look options.
yeah, it's on the first page of the bowl section, like right under where you choose your name. There's a list of like looks. They cover kind of like how your character dresses and what have you.
I don't have that on my character sheet.
It should be on the playbooks, or in the
It just wants to know, like, do you have like?
Yeah, you can also just like describe Riley for us too.
I'm not sure where you're looking, because are you talking about the Roll20 character sheet?
No, the handouts, like the PDF. I may not be on your roll.
Oh shit!
These
Yeah, I don't
things.
know. I had that before.
Okay, well, just give us a quick description of what Riley Rampage looks like.
This
Perfect.
is that.
Cool. Good.
Yeah.
Done.
Leather jacket. I got the motorcycle gloves. Imagine she would be wearing like Doc Martens, like big combat boots.
Does Riley have a lot of tattoos, just like you?
She's a teenager. Teenagers aren't allowed to get tattoos until they're over
You never
18.
know.
It was an assassin camp, so
Yeah.
That's true. Maybe she has like a barcode tattoo, like some hitman shit. Or
prison
whatever.
tats.
Caitlin was pointing out before we started when we were doing the countdown that this is kind of like on TV when they hire a bunch of like 20 somethings to play teenagers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they
what
have
I feel
tattoos
like.
you. No.
Yeah, they're all like high schoolers, but they're actually like 27.
Yeah.
Yep.
So today's episode, special guest starring James Vanderbeek.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so should we go into like the backstory, like a brief, just like
Yeah. If you wanna give us a quick
Cool.
walkthrough of your backstory, sure.
Yeah, so Riley, basically what Aaron mentioned was that she grew up or was raised in a kind of like a superhero, what's the villains, that's what it is, like a villain camp where they were taking kids and training them to be super villains, I guess. So that's how I got my powers, or that's how Riley got her powers, is by being taken from her home when she was little and put into this like camp, and then just being like, have you ever seen the movie, what's that movie, Soldier? Oh, it's like a space movie from like the 90s, not space, but he like was a kid put into this like camp where he had to just like do these rigorous tests like every day or whatever.
Mhm.
So that's kind of like how Riley came to like become this fighting machine.
Yeah, there's lots of examples in comics and movies like X-23. Anybody who is like, you're gonna be a superhero and you're gonna do what we want from a young age.
Only not a hero. They wanted me to be like a villain.
Yeah, so you were trained by like I guess the question, was this an organization that like thought that they were the good guys, they just had like abhorrent means, or was this like a Hydra situation where they were like,
criminals.
everybody's garbage and we're going to take over the earth? Okay.
Yeah, they were like criminals. They were like training me to be a criminal.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah, Kurt Russell, that's his name. That was a really good movie.
It was.
Wait, what's it called?
Love. Soldier.
Okay, I'll have to watch that. Kurt
Yeah.
Russell's like my favorite actor. Like
Is it
maybe
the one
because
where
of
he had the eye
Nick
patch?
Kristen.
I think
I think so,
Really?
yeah.
He has an eye patch in that one too. Okay,
They try to
I'm
like
sold.
replace him with like better soldiers, and he proves that the old ways are the best ways. It's really great.
Oh my god, what a twist!
It's a really good movie.
All right. I'm making a note here that someone in the movie adaptation of Masks has to be played by Kurt Russell. Maybe the villain. Maybe he's the leader of the organization that
We
trained
need
you.
Kurt
No,
Russell
good.
cross-dressing as a woman will be Riley Rampage. I
Yes.
want that. Yeah.
God,
Very
I can actually picture
strange.
that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Okay. But now you've found like a new place in life, right? You got away from this
I
organization.
got busted out, man.
Yeah.
Petra
You got freed.
Flying in like a superhero and just took me out of there.
Totally.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your character's relationships. So the bull is driven by, the bull is very simple socially, right? The bull isn't the like spider at the center of a great web of interconnection. The bull has two people that they care about first and foremost. You have one love and one rival, and you can change them at any given time, right? You can just be like, I don't love you anymore. Yeah. Or you can be like,
You're not
I've
the
loved
one.
you all along, right? Like these things can just change whenever you want. But
Right.
at the beginning of the game, you have a love and a rival, and you always, when you change, you always give the person that becomes your love or rival influence over you, and you always take a +1 to any action that impresses the person you love or frustrates the person that you were rivals with, and then you'll have a role to fill around that. What role did you pick for your love or rival?
What role?
Yeah, there was a defender, friend, listener, or enabler.
Oh God, I don't remember any of this, and I don't know where that playbook went. I wish that were in Roll20, because like none of that. If you have to write it down, I lose the papers.
Okay, you can. I mean, you can pick one now. I think you took defender.
She did.
Yeah. So these are the roles, right? Like defender is when you leap to defend your love or rival in battle, you roll plus danger instead of savior to defend them.
Oh, okay.
If you're their friend, when you comfort or support them, you mark potential on a hit. When they support or comfort you, you mark potential if they roll a hit. If you're a listener, when you pierce the mask of your love or rival, you can always let them ask you a question so that you, in addition, can ask them one more. So you're like closer to them, you know each other better. Or you're an enabler. When you provoke your love or rival, roll plus danger if you try to provoke them to rash or poorly thought out action.
Okay. Yeah. Defender sounded right.
Go with defender. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that means that whoever your love or rival is, when you defend them, you roll danger instead of savior.
Okay. Cool.
I
'cause
remember who you said your two people were, and do you want me to Skype you?
I have that, but if we're, I guess,
do you want to keep it the same, or do you want to change your
Oh, that too.
your love and rival?
I mean, we can leave it for now. It kind of depends on, because since I can kind of change it at will, it kind of depends on the situation that we're going to find ourselves in this like issue. So
Yeah, I actually think that in this case, the intention to choose it before you do anything, like this is just like you as a player just picking two people, and we figure out why they're like that.
Okay.
In play, yeah. So you can
Okay,
can just choose any two characters and do that, and then we can figure it out.
Okay. Yeah. I think I'll just. I think in character it makes sense to like leave them the way that they are. Which, for those of you who weren't watching last time, my love character was Hemlock, and then my rival was Petra. And keep in mind that like rival doesn't necessarily mean like somebody that you like want to fight against or that you like are, you know, like butting heads with or whatever. But in this case, I see it as Riley kind of looks to Petra as like an older sister figure who like saved her from, you know, like her youth, I guess. And so she does things that are brash and without thinking. And Petra gets frustrated by that because she puts herself, like Riley puts herself in danger, and Petra's like trying to keep her safe. So
We butt heads, but we love each other when we do it.
Yeah.
So.
And
yeah.
if there's anybody in the team that can cause more damage than Riley, it's Petra. Like in terms of pure destructive output, it's gonna be the laser cannon.
There's a car within 5 feet. She'll find it.
Yeah.
5 miles. She's gonna blow it up.
Don't park your cars anywhere near me if you actually care about them. So.
Yeah. So for you, again, because the bull is simple, you give influence to your love and rival. So that means that Hemlock and Petra in your first influence over slot, you can put Riley Rampage. So this means as long as you have influence over Riley, you get a +1 on any move that affects her, positive or negative. You're just better at helping her, but you're also better at like shutting her down, putting her in her place, figuring her out, all of that stuff. And then you can also spend your influence to make declarative statements about Riley and be like, Riley, you are a danger to this team. And then she needs to react to it, right? And this can be, again, positive or negative. You can try to influence Anne's play of the character by boosting or modifying her character's labels.
Got it.
Cool. I think that should be good. Yeah, let's move on. Since we've been talking about Petra, let's go next to her.
You want me to start with reading my little blurb?
Yeah, please.
All right. So Petra, the all-powerful, basically God. Okay, you're welcome. You're a font of power. That's me. Not you, me. I can channel it. I can remake the world into exactly what I want. I can unleash it, and I can do miracles. It's wonderful, but also terrifying for some, I guess. Lose control for even a second, and other people can get hurt, which has happened.
I like how Petra is like getting more and more like. I think you're already playing Petra more like snooty and intense than she was last time.
Well,
Since the last time we saw Petra,
my freak went up. So my freak went up and my mundane went down, which means that I'm even less connected to what it really means to just be normal. So
yeah. Actually, let's before we continue. The one thing we didn't do, Riley, what are your labels right now? What are your labels at?
Underneath my active moves, or the labels.
Your
Okay, I've got freak at 1, danger at 3, savior at -1, superior at 1, mundane -1, and that's it, right?
Yep.
Condition 0.
Cool. So yeah, your character, you're at the maximum level of danger, which means if anybody's at a 3 for any of their labels, if someone tries to push your label above 3. It doesn't. It goes back to 2, and you take a condition instead. So you're hovering on the edge of being like as dangerous as is safe for you, right? Like as soon as somebody with influence over you is like you're out of control, you're a loose cannon rampage, then you're going to become angry or afraid or guilty or insecure or whatever. Like it pushes you too hard. You're too much the thing that you already are. So it's a good place to be if you want to succeed at danger rolls, but it's also a dangerous place to be because other people can push you into a place of insecurity. They can get you kind of over the top.
Kind of like going berserk as a barbarian.
Yeah. So Petra, let's start with yours then. What are you mentioned your freak is up at 1 now.
I thought it had gone up, but it's actually still just at 1, which actually means it went down. But my danger is the same. So my freak is at 1, my danger is at 2, my savior is at 0. Sorry. My superior is what went up. That's at 1.
Yeah.
And my mundane is at -1.
Right.
It's really not normal.
Yeah. So you're dangerous, superior, freaky, and not mundane at all. So yeah, definitely like you perceive yourself this way. Remember, this isn't necessarily the way everybody sees you. So Petra acknowledges that she's dangerous and is a little inhuman. And that superiority creeping up is where that like,
that's what makes it okay.
I can fly and shoot lasers out of my eyes. So what's up? Let's talk about your laser beams. What you have a bunch of cool phoenixy powers. What moves do you have?
So I don't really have lasers per se, but I do have the power of telekinesis and telepathy. My telekinesis is what I rely on quite a bit. However, my telepathy is kind of not all that sharp, and due to an incident that happened when I was first trying to work on my powers, it's kind of something that I'm a bit skittish to try to use because it's sort of resulted badly for family members. So,
yep. So what are the moves that you have? What are your passive moves for Petra?
My passives, so I have several. One is that I have the ability to create a moat, so I can sort of like create a barrier that just like holds anything back that I want at any given time. So that's really cool. If anybody has watched the first episode, I actually used that to protect Hemlock because I was being overbearing. Sorry. I have worship, which is that I just put on an absolutely tremendous display of my might. So that'll do well to catch the attention of anyone who's around. So that's really good. I have my overcharge. Things are moving around. Are you doing that?
Yes. Sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
I have my overcharge, which is where I can channel the full capacity of my incredible powers to overcome any obstacle, reshape my environment, extend my senses. That's typically where the telepathy would probably come in, but I'm not worried about that. And then I have something called Reality Storm, which is that I can channel a destructive burst with my powers. That's kind of worked out in the past, but also kind of not, depending on who you are. So.
Right. So the idea here is that you can spend points from your burn, right? You charge up at the beginning of a situation, create burn, and then spend it to do things like your reality storm and overcharge. Cool. And then collateral damage is a potential problem for this character. Do you want to talk a little bit about your the way your character looks? Because you have like an actual like superhero costume and
I
like
do.
a secret identity and the whole thing, right?
Yeah. So Petra kind of went all out, obviously. This is what she wears. Yes. And she's very comfortable being a superhero. So she doesn't really struggle with the idea of sort of being out as a superhero. In fact, she kind of just wants to encourage everybody else to do so. So thus all the gold and the sort of armor, even though armor is not really needed for Petra, she has it just to sort of like be extravagant with it. Think of like Louis XIV as a superhero. That is what Petra is. Yes.
Nice. Awesome. Cool. Okay. So you have relationships with your team.
Yes.
You can let us know what those are like now. So what are your relationships like?
Let's see. Well, my relationships are that I like to hang out with Lex to blow off steam. So I think the two of us just kind of like are very chill together, and I can get along with her quite well, even though I have no idea what she's talking about when she talks about her computers. Really, just it goes over my head. And then I once hurt Riley when I lost control of my powers. And because I've sort of taken her on as an adoptive baby sister, that makes me extra careful with her, extra overprotective, extra overbearing.
Which must drive her completely crazy.
A little bit.
All right.
You're not my real mom.
The toughest one, the like least likely person to get hurt by your powers, you're the most gentle with, because like, sorry, because that one.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because that's the thing, is that you're so surprised when you do hurt her, because she does seem like such a tank that when you can actually break through and hurt her, especially when you don't mean it, that makes it way worse.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Cool. So you have a demeanor. You either have a happy facade or you are locked down. Which I think I know the answer, but which of those two?
I'm happy. Yeah.
All right, so
the reason why Petra is so happy is because she chose very long ago to be very hopeful about how things are going to go, rather than just paranoid and skeptical all the time. And so because of that, it also gives influence to her entire team.
Right. So everybody mark that you have influence over Petra.
Yes.
All right, a happy facade over top of all of that energy. Cool. All right, let's talk about Lex++. Kaitlyn, do you want to read Lex's little intro bit?
The freak one?
Your
like
delinquent one. Yeah, the one that starts with "You've got these cool powers."
Okay, you've got these cool powers, but everyone keeps telling you how to use them. You know what they need? Someone to give them trouble to make sure they don't always get their way. And hey, you're the perfect hero to do it.
Mm-hmm. So you're playing the delinquent. What are your labels at right now?
So my labels right now, I actually have Superior 3 right now. So that's kind of dangerous for me making decisions that make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then my mundane is at 1, which makes sense for the delinquent. But my freak's only at 1 right now. I think it went down at the end of the last episode. My danger is at -1, which is okay, because of course I don't have to be directly in combat to be effective. I can be holed up in my room at like 5 a.m. hacking. Doesn't matter. And then Savior is at -1. And again, I mean, it's okay. And then my conditions are at 0.
I like just the description of like you're playing a delinquent and the description of the stats. Like this character is already so intolerably like better than everybody. I mean, like you think like the character Lex++ knows that they're superior, right? That 3 is like you're as much like better just generally than everybody else as Riley Rampage is dangerous, right?
Yeah,
So
they
again,
really line up.
but having superior at 3 means you're really good at like figuring people and situations out and provoking people to do things that you want, but you're right on that edge. So if somebody's like, stop being such a stuck-up jerk, it might make you insecure or angry or afraid.
Yeah. It really fits the character because she's really bad. Like she's really bad when it comes to close emotions. So maybe like consoling friends or being empathetic. But then she's good at provoking people. So she's bad at the soft emotions, but she's good at like the really strong ones, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. So what delinquent moves did you take? You have 3 from your playbook.
So speaking of emotions, I picked Mary Contrary, and that's when someone tries to pierce your mask, comfort, or support you. So she kind of deflects that, or provoke you. You can interfere. And then I also picked Criminal Mind. When you assess the situation, you can always ask one of the following questions. What here is useful or valuable to me? How could I best infuriate or provoke? And then what's the best way in / way past?
Mm-hmm.
And the last one I picked was, are you watching closely? So when you mislead, distract, or trick someone, roll plus superior. So yeah, just more focus on trying to screw with people.
Yeah, definitely.
Not really. Not like the nicest.
You're the brains, and then also the like manipulator of the situation. In a lot of ways, the delinquent is sort of the opposite of the bull, because it's about getting reactions out of people and being connected to a bunch of people, so you can kind of like figure out how to best push everybody's buttons. Which, like if you use that ability for good, you can really be like the core of the team. But if you use it for evil, you can be incredibly irritating, which is like a form of influence as well.
I feel like the bull is also a lot more like emotionally strong. Am I wrong? Like you know what you want and you go for it. Whereas I'm just more about provoking people from afar.
Yeah. So for your relationships, you also have 2 relationship statements. Who are your relationships with?
Yeah, so I don't remember who I picked for those. Does anyone remember?
You can just make up new ones.
Yeah,
New ones.
I'm kind of curious what I picked for them, but okay. So my options are: I'm always trying to impress someone, and the other one is me and someone else pulled an awesome, if illegal, stunt together. So I mean, if legalities are involved, that one has to be Riley Rampage for the second one.
All right. An awesome stunt that might happen to have been illegal. Riley, were you like a willing participant in this, or did you get roped into it somehow, or did Lex trick you into doing a thing and you didn't realize until afterwards?
She probably tricked me. I can imagine she tricked me into it.
Yeah. I'm imagining she was like the distraction.
Yeah.
She's like, that guy said something mean about Hemlock, and I'm just like, mother.
That 7-Eleven is totally the base of an evil supervillain. You better go in there and wreck up the place.
So easy. And then,
right, cool.
As for who I'm trying to impress, maybe Hemlock, because when I first met Hemlock, I was trying to stand up for her. I think it was Hemlock, right? In the computer lab. Yeah. So I think people were making fun of her for like not being a real coder or not a real programmer or a real pro gamer.
You can't hack, bro.
Yeah. You can't hack Stardew Valley. Prove it. Show me how much gold.
Yeah.
Do you even code?
So I guess like I actually, felt this sense of fulfillment and like usefulness when I helped her out. And so I've just kind of been chasing that, like, oh, I want to press her again and like stand up for her again or something.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah. So your influence maybe reflects something like deeper about your character. Do you want to read your influence bit for us?
You care way more than you let on. Give 3 teammates influence over you.
So everybody has influence over Lex ++, even if she doesn't let on. Your opinions of her do actually matter. Cool. All right. I
feel like they matter even more when like my superiority is so inflated.
Oh yeah, totally.
It like creates this dichotomy.
Well, you're right on the edge, right? Like literally anyone in the group could be like push you and bump you over that superior threshold like really easily. Yeah. You're like most teenagers, your identity is a tenuous and fragile thing.
Oh, actually, do you want me to talk about how I look?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so my civilian clothing is this hoodie. Here we go. No idea who I am. And then, of course, I have my like Linux Penguin because my name is Lex++. So I mean, that doesn't really involve Linux, but I first used Lex on Linux, so sure, why not? And then just, you know, also kind of biker gloves, but studded, because if you look at the actual character art for my character, he's very punkish, but my descriptors that I chose are, I mean, my character really doesn't know what she is, so it's all over the place. So casual clothing like the hoodie, skimpy costume, showy costume, ridiculous costume, rebellious clothing, garbage clothing, cheap costume. It was just like all of them. And I think, I think that's reflected pretty well, you know?
Yeah. Like Lex is a little bit of a mess, but
Yeah, definitely.
keeps it under control. I like it. Cool. Well, let's get to know our genus. Let's talk about Hemlock.
Yeah, everybody's got these really cool characters and everybody's got superpowers, and then there's me, really boring one. So the Janus is basically, the description says, wake up, breakfast, school, work, homework, sleep, repeat. It burns you up being stuck in this life, unable to make a real difference. That is, until you put on the mask, and then you can be someone else, a hero. So my character is Hemlock, and she is basically the most normal out of all of them. So right now my labels are freak -2, danger 1, savior 1, superior 1, mundane 2. So I'm like, just
You're the opposite of me.
I am really, really boring. So I was introduced into all of these characters because my mom and I live kind of in an upper scale part of Halcyon City. We live in this, you know, kind of big penthouse, which like often turns into the makeshift headquarters of our group of superheroes. My dad's been gone. We don't know where he is. He kind of like left us for whatever reason. My mom has a super hatred of heroes. She thinks that they are all out to destroy everything. They ruin everything. They hurt more than they help. And so part of my character's struggle is being able to hide as a teenager from my mom. I can't tell her what I'm doing, but my superhero powers manifested after we were out walking one night and we were kind of attacked. And Riley was there to save us. It's when my powers manifested. Woke up in a hospital. Riley comes to check on me. And then through that, get introduced to Petra. And Lex and I knew each other because we were in school together. So she's been there. I introduced her into this group. And that's how our lovely,
Our little family,
very angsty group of superheroes came about. Riley is probably my best friend in the group because her and I have kind of the same attitude about certain things. We get grudges pretty easily and have this kind of struggle with our backgrounds a little bit.
Now you have your superpower is energy absorption. Yes,
energy absorption and supernatural senses.
That's right. Yeah, in addition to heightened like strength, agility, and toughness, you're kind of like generic superhero, and you can take a beating and absorb energy, and then you have a perception that no normal person does. What did you choose as your genus moves? You have the mask. What label do you embody when you put on the mask? Right.
Yeah. Okay. So the mask is basically, it allows me to hide my identity. But when I put the mask on, which can be like in the context of her costume, can be like a figurative mask or a literal one. Mine is like a hood. Basically, it's just like, think of like a teenager, like I'm normal kid, and then like hood, I'm superhero. That's basically what it is. And when she does that, she turns into Hemlock. She becomes a savior.
So what mechanically what the mask does is when you put it on, you have a 2 in mundane, but you replace your savior with your mundane. Your mundane becomes stands in for the other set, which is really cool. So you want that high mundane as a Janus.
Yeah. And so the other ones I have because of that are game face. So when I commit myself to save someone or defeat a terrible enemy, I can mark a condition and take +1 ongoing to all rolls that's in pursuit of that goal. And at the end of any scene in which I don't make progress towards it, I have to mark a condition. But when I fulfill it, I can mark a potential.
Nice.
So anytime that I step forward to become who I am and do that, it kind of changes my conditions a little bit. And then the last one that I have is called I'll Save You. It says you're willing to pay high cost to keep your loved one safe, reveal your secret identity to someone watching, or mark a condition to defend a loved one as if you rolled a 12 plus, which we did in the last one. If you guys watched the first one shot, we had the little kid, and I had to I reveal my identity to save him from being hit with like a big piece of metal debris. So I revealed myself to him so that I could use my powers and then save him. And so he kind of was like, she's got powers. Everyone was like, whatever. Until the end when they figured it out. And we were on TV and blasted everywhere. And now we're all in hiding because people know that we
And
exist.
I'm so proud of you.
No, and I'm hiding out from my mom. She was drinking wine, really drunk in the living room last time we came home.
So what did you choose for your 3 obligations? What are the things that you were obligated to?
Yeah. So my job was that I was like in tech support. I worked a job as a tech support person, which goes along with me being in school with Lex as like IT coding, whatever. At home and social kind of go together. I have a close relative that I have to care for, which is my mom, because she's kind of a hot mess.
She's
Mhm.
an alcoholic. You can say it.
She's an alcoholic.
I think we might have brought this up last time, but I feel like I was envisioning her as the mom from Mean Girls.
No, she is. Yeah. Yes.
She's
She
the
is.
cool
except for-
mom.
she's not a regular mom. She's like a cool mom, but she's
Yeah.
not cool at all because we have to kind of like tiptoe around the fact that
Right.
whatever. And no one really knows, like my dad's not around and my mom doesn't work. So there's this hidden thing that maybe one day we'll figure out where our support comes from and who my dad is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know.
Okay, and then so you've got a job, you have tech support, you have caring for someone, and then what was your
Social
other
was close relative.
close
So
relatives?
yeah, they're my mom. Yeah.
All right, cool. And then your relationships. What did you choose for those?
Yep. So my relationships, Lex knew me from my civilian life
Mhm.
first, before I was that. And then I refused to tell Riley the first time that I had a secret.
That's right. Yeah, Riley asked what your secret identity
Well,
was.
and there was also Clyde, remember? The doorman.
Clyde the doorman does know. He knows your secret
He knows
identity.
now. So Clyde is like he is my pseudo father figure that helps me sneak in and sneak out. And he kind of turns a blind eye to what we're doing. So
He's your Alfred.
Yeah.
he is my Alfred. Yes. And we love him and he's the best. And if you hurt him,
I was about to say, so the game begins at Clyde's funeral.
oh
You can't do that.
That would
No,
be the kind of like troll cover of the issue, right?
no.
It
Give
would
me
be
like
Oh,
a few,
God.
give me like a
it'd be
2
like
minutes.
Hemlock everyone standing dressed in black over a grave that says "Rip Clyde" on it, and like
No, this is
yeah.
not a thing.
he can die, but he has to die for something. We can't just start it with his death.
It's fine if you kill him.
Yeah, wow, that was
Like a situation that we feel good about. Okay.
Give me at
But
least
like
a backstory.
that's totally how comics work, right? You'd get the cover of the comic that's like a huge troll, and then you
Yeah.
find out in the comic that like it was just a dream.
A dream. Yeah.
All right, well, you
Or
can
they
do
like
that.
faked his death or something.
Yeah, exactly. You had to fake his
Yeah.
death to protect him from a supervillain or whatever. The robot version of Clyde from another dimension got killed.
Yeah. It was a dummy. It was like a
Body
cover.
double.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a decoy Clyde.
Captain America, like not really being dead is why I have trust issues with the media. Like I will never believe anything again.
No, but he was dead. Then he was alive. Then he was a Nazi. Then he wasn't. I don't know. Whatever. So so you have some influence to give out before we get started. So what's your influence, Reed, on your sheet?
My influence right now says that I have influence over Riley and Lex.
Yeah, so you have to give influence to other people. It's just under your relationships.
Oh, right. They're the same.
Okay,
I have
so the
influence over them,
two.
they have influence over me.
Okay, so Riley and Lex, you're gonna give them influence over you. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Cool. And so just for folks who might be doubling up on influence is a binary condition. You have it or you don't. You don't have like multiple influence over the same person.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, why don't we take our first break, and when we come back, we'll start in with issue number 1 of our second one shot of Roleplay Mask. Cool. Stick around. More role play, more superheroism when we get back.